From TV2, we have Maja, Maja Sørensen Raunbak. So Maja holds a Master in Corporate Communication and Organizational Development. She's been working in public media tech for the last 12 years. And before joining TV2, she worked 7 years in Danske Radio, DR, which is the public broadcaster in Denmark. Currently, she is heading experience design, and she's ramping up a team of 16 UX and UI designers and counting. So with that, I will hand over to you, Maja.
Thank you, Espen, and hi everybody, and thank you for joining. I'll just share my screen with you. Yeah. So thanks for joining, and today I'd like to share a short look into how we at TV2 are working on moving up the design maturity ladder. And I'd be focusing on our streaming product, TV2 Play. And first, I just want to do a super short stop at a couple of media brands that has shaped my view and my work with designing public service products. So I was born the year that MTV launched, and growing up, MTV played a really big role as a cultural foundation for a lot of my social life, and the music really created a strong social coherence. And for me, that's also the power and the essence of public service television, right? To be able to create coherence and common grounds in an otherwise divided society. So for me, it was a no-brainer to join DR back in 2009, and then in 5 years ago, I joined TV2, which also has the commercial aspect on top of the public service part. And for TV2, so our streaming product is TV2 Play, and Espen, you mentioned some of the stats. So we have 700,000 subscribers. Our content profile centers around entertainment, sports, news, and kids. And we have around 10 plus live channels and more than 10,000 pieces of content. And the viewing is quite balanced between live TV and on demand. So moving on to the design maturity ladder, back in 2018, we gathered all of the UXs and designers in one team, and we started doing a redesign together with the PM and the tech teams. And we had some quite heavy limitations there. So the biggest one was no new features, because there was a huge platform rewrite going on at the same time. So we had to focus on the visual design. And Play at that time had a quite an uneven look and feel. The smart TVs were white, for example, and the other platforms were black and cinematic. The menu structure wasn't the same on all platforms, and neither was the metadata on the content. So the experience was quite fragmented across the platforms. So our goal was to create alignment and to create the foundation for a design system that could have shared components for the platforms moving forward. And then now, I'll jump to 2021, I'd say we're doing a redefine of Play. So Play was born as a catch-up service, and now we're moving into content aggregation. We do content partnerships. For example, we've been doing with Hey You, American Reality, and also with children's content. And the latest collaboration is with Paramount Plus, actually, which will be launching in July. So that's super exciting, and we'll be doing this to support our strategy, which is TV2 Play for all, because we want to have and to be able to offer content to every Dane that's relevant for them. So there's also a shift in focus towards live TV from mainly being a video on demand service. We want to boost our live viewing, and sports is a really big driver there for us, and also live events that can gather all of the Danes across all ages. We're also moving away from this one-size-fits-all service to doing a more personalized service and to create more personalized experiences. And design-wise, we are moving from focusing on mainly utility and usability, features and usability. And we're moving towards more desirability and creating appealing products and experiences. And I'll get back to that in just a bit, because if we see the maturity ladder towards design and working with design, the way I see it, on the basic level, you work with design as mainly surface. And that was what we did in 2018. So we worked with what you could see, right? We worked with UI components and the spacing and the cropping. But we also work with design as the structure, so the information structure and the hierarchy there. And the next level is to work with design as your process and how you solve problems, the user and business problems. And at the and at the last step there, you have really integrated design thinking and become a mature design thinking organization. So back in 18, I'd say we were around here. We were working with design as mainly surface, but also structure. And now in 21, we have there comes the animation. We're working with design as a process. We're working with solving problems with empathy, and we're doing a lot of user testing now. And then, of course, the goal is to move towards being this full-on mature design organization. And some of the stuff we're doing to get us there is to really focus on design operations, design systems, continuous discovery, and also to have a shared vision of the experience across all of the areas in TV2 that work with creating the user experiences. And I just want to do a look into our model, because we've developed this experience model. And back in 18, I'd say we were working with experience and design on utility and usability level. So do we have the right features? Are they easy enough to use? And now we've moved towards also creating the products appealing to you. So they look good. Are they premium? Do they have a premium look and feel? Is there good transitions? And does all of the look and feel in the product and the way we solve the user needs, does it create a coherent experience across all of the touch points? And what we've really, it might be basic, but what we're really facing now is that every area of our organization contributes to creating these shared experiences, and every area of the organization holds a bit and a touch point across the user's journey. So what we really need to do there is to work together to create appealing and desirable product, and these are branded experiences that we call the TV2 experience. And that really brings us back to MTV, or brings us back to the fact that creating engaging experiences, that is not a one-man band discipline. It's a huge collaboration exercise. And for us, it's across PM, engineering, operations, content, editorial, publishing, marketing, commercial, customer service. I could go on. So it really takes a village and the ability and willingness to work together across the whole organization. And so also to have these shared goals and a shared vision of where we're heading. So a mantra for us going forward is that together we improve the experience, and we do it sprint by sprint. So yeah, that was a short run through. Do reach out if you have the same interest in creating experiences and working with customer journeys across all of the touch points. I'm mainly a LinkedIn kind of person, so you can find me there, or do hit me with an email. So yeah, thanks. Back to you, Espen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maja. Thanks a lot. That's interesting to hear. So I have a couple of questions here. So I think I know that it's like you said, it's important to get the entire organization part of this, and to work with design. And I mean, experience for myself working with engineering team is not necessarily what's on top of their mind and head. How do you organize yourself, and how does kind of design fits into the organization?
Yeah. Well, I think for me, we're kind of on a journey there also, because in 18, the UX and designers were decentralized. So they were placed in different development teams. And then in 18, we gathered them in one team. So we centralized all of the designers to create the alignment across the visual expression of the design. And now we're actually moving like these sinus curves, right? So now we're actually moving back to doing the decentralized organization where we have UX and designers working in product teams. So it's quite new for us to establish product teams with a focus on, we have a team that focusing on the sports experience and another team that focusing on the commercial experience, all of the purchase area. So we're actually doing some good experiments there in figuring out how do we get the product teams to work together, because they need the autonomy to move fast, but also we still need the alignment. So that's why we're creating design systems and design operations, so that we have both the stability within the product teams and the flexibility, but at the same time we need speed and alignment. So it's very much a balancing act there.
No, I can imagine it's not easy. And another question is more related to design itself. So I know that also working in like app developments, there's like a constant debate regarding whether you should go with the native design of the different platforms, like the Apple devices, Android devices, or you should do a custom design and more kind of promote your brand or have the same experience across devices. What's TV2 take on this question?
Yeah, that's a good question also that we've been discussing definitely a lot. I think we always, we kind of see, so what's the market standard here? What does the user expect? Because if they're used to having a specific Apple TV standards, we don't want to go away from that, because that's what the user expects for us, that the navigation part, for example. So they want an Apple TV to work like they know from other apps. So we follow the conventions within the platforms. And that's also, I think, a balance could be the header here, right? So we always try to figure out what's the balance between having a strong a branded experience, but at the same time, we really want to remove friction and make it as easy for the user to engage with our products. So we always figure out, is there anything we get? Also, do we get, transition or anything that's built in native? Could we use that in a faster way to create an experience, or do we need to build our own? So we really always look at, it's the balancing act there. There's no easy answer here either way. No. But we definitely, we always look at what is the market standard, what does the user expect, and what would be, the easiest or the most effortless way for us to create the most impact in the experience.
Okay, thanks. Okay, one last question here from the audience. So, what are your key points for attracting your customers in relation to content discoverability? Good swim lanes, navigation in UX, personalized trailers, good content, of course.
That's such a big question. We're actually doing, we're looking into creating a new navigation right now. And we're really also figuring out here what are one of the challenges that we have is that we've mainly used our navigation before as the value proposition. So we kind of use the navigation to say we have news, sports, kids, but then we have a whole lot of other categories that aren't really visible towards the user. So we're actually figuring out, because what our user testing shows is that the user really navigates within categories. That's where their mental model is, probably created by Netflix and other big players, right? So we're really looking into how can we meet the expectations and how can we show the variety of the content that we have and also use our navigation there. But definitely also trailers is very high on my list in terms of what I'd like to do. I'd also like to create a more, you can look forward to seeing this content. That's always what the linear TV has been really good at. And we want to adopt that to the streaming service also. So definitely, video just says a lot more than stills and metadata does, right? So we really want to be able to move that forward.
Okay, thank you, Maja. So there's a couple of more questions there. If you can go in and answer, we will move on now with the next on the program.